How many of you are worried about your careers? क्या होगा आगे करियर में? And how many of you are like, okay, कुछ ना कुछ तो हो ही जाएगा? वरीड वाले लोग कितने लोग हैं? I'm I'm audible ना? हाँ, I'm audible. तो मुझे खुद ही बहुत अजीब सी लग रही है. मैंने फिर 25 प्लस. 25 प्लस वाले, कैन यू रेज योर हैंड एज वाइज? Only two people who are 25 plus. Pooja and Rupjyoti. Munna. Rest of you are quite young, right? I'm only worried for my consistency in study. How many of you are not worried? Like, नौकरी मिले ना मिले कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, यूपीएससी हो या ना हो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है? Anyone like that? Like anybody who has this confidence कि नहीं भी होगा तो I will be able to do something and ठीक है, I will be happy, I have a lot of things to do, तो कुछ ना कुछ कर लेंगे. अच्छा अच्छा, मतलब कुछ ना कुछ ऐसा नहीं कुछ ना कुछ कर लेंगे, मतलब ठीक है कुछ ना कुछ कर लेंगे ऐसा कि फिर आई विल यू विल बी सेटिस्फाइड. लड़कियां कह रही हैं कि ठीक है कुछ नहीं होगा तो शादी तो हो ही जाएगी, टेंशन नहीं लेना है. I'm not on saying this on a lighter side. कोई दिल पे मत लेना. If you will ask me, I was never worried about having a job. Like कि अगर यूपीएससी नहीं हो तो नौकरी क्या करूंगा, या वेयर आई विल अर्न माई लिवलीहुड, कि रोटी दाल कैसे चलेगा घर का, क्या खाऊंगा, कहाँ रहूंगा. I was never worried about that. Never. Even when I was in college, my friends were getting placed, and I didn't went for the placement. Although I prepared for it, I helped many of my friends to qualify for that, but I never went for placement. मैं बैठा ही नहीं, किसी placement में नहीं बैठा. And then I tried UPSC and I failed. And I have some attempts left, but for till now the story is I'm failed. क्या लगता है तुम लोगों को कितना पैसा कमाता हूँ मैं एक साल में? गेसेस? क्या होगा मेरा एनुअल पैकेज? The message that I want to convey here is that don't worry about money today. This is not the time when you should be worrying about money. This is the time when you should work upon gaining skills. This is the time when you should focus upon learning things. This is the time when you should focus on gaining knowledge. You have that with you, तो एक साल में इतना कमा लोगे जितना तुम्हारे आज सारे दोस्त जो प्लेस्ड हो रहे हैं वो नेक्स्ट 5 इयर्स में जितना कमाओगे. अगर 5 साल के बाद भी तुम कमाना शुरू करोगे तो उनका 5 साल का तुम भरपाई एक साल में कर सकते हो. पद्मिनी सिंह बस आपको इतना अर्न करना है, नॉलेज एंड मनी. फोकस ऑन द नॉलेज पार्ट. देखो यूएसए में क्या होता था, एंड आई ऑल्सो लर्न दिस लाइक व्हेन आई वाज रीडिंग द बायोग्राफी. आई ऑलवेज से कि कुछ लोग हैं जिन्होंने मुझे मेरे लाइफ में बहुत, some people have inspired me a lot throughout my life, and one of that person is Benjamin Franklin. I'm inspired by two people. One Gandhi, whose image is on Indian currency, and another is Benjamin Franklin, whose image is on dollar. It's just a coincidence, but so Benjamin Franklin, when I was going through his biography, this was a system in USA that any person who want to learn a skill, they have to spend 7 years with the master of that art. 7 years, unpaid service. So for the first 5 years, you will get nothing. You're just working. So if you want to learn to be an editor, which Benjamin Franklin was by profession, so he spent 5 years working in someone's printing press without money, and in the next 2 years they will start giving you some money, and after 7 years you will get a license. So after 7 years you will get a license to start that business of your own, whatever skill you are learning. So that's a very good lesson for all of us. Focus on skills, focus on knowledge. The day you will have that, money will roll down like anything. इतना होगा कि तुम रख नहीं पाओगे, तुम सोचोगे कि अरे इतना पैसा कहाँ से आ रहा है, क्या करें. But today, if you will focus upon earning money, maybe you can get a job of 20,000, 50,000. But if you don't have skills, you will be stuck in that loop. 50,000 से next year 52 हो जाएगा, उसके बाद 55 हो जाएगा, और उसके बाद 60 हो जाएगा, और उसके बाद 1 लाख पे रिटायर कर जाओगे शायद, काउंटिंग द इन्फ्लेशन. तो no matter how you are thinking, even if you want to, whatever you achieve in life, the path is this one single path. There's not multiple paths here. तुमको पैसा कमाना है, you learn the skill, you get the knowledge, you do the thing. It's not just about reading books. If you think about that, there is a lot of money in marketing, you learn the marketing skills. If you think there is a lot of money in coding, you learn that skill. You put that time, hours, years. Once you have that skill, तुमको फेम चाहिए, the path is same. You learn the knowledge, you learn the skill, you show that to the world, you will get the recognition. If you want to help someone, if you want to change something, first you have to learn yourself. So why all this? Because student called today from personal mentorship batch. He was quite worried. कि क्या होगा sir? I got these offers and from different companies and I'm not able to join and I missed my admission in a reputed college. So it seems like life is ending for me. Life never ends. One एक रास्ता बंद होता है, दूसरा रास्ता खुल जाता है. तो फोकस शुड बी कि जहां कहीं भी हो कुछ सीख रहे हो. So all of you make some guesses about how much I am earning, how many hours I work per day. Any guesses? In 24 hours, how many hours I would be working? Today I was actually counting like how many hours do I actually work, and like actually work like class जब ले रहा हूँ ये वाला work, but for taking this class I was reading for about 2 hours. I'm subtracting that from the time, and almost I got up to a number of about 14 hours every day, like real work जो आपको करना ही पड़ता है, आप करते हो काम. उसमें वो सब माइनस है कि क्लास करने से पहले थोड़ा पढ़ना है, क्लास करने के बाद थोड़ा आराम चाहिए. I'm working 14 hours every day, and I literally took a vitamin before coming to this class because I'm not in the good shape कि मैं आके क्लास ले सकूं. काफी टायर्ड फीलिंग हो रहा था. मेरा आज दोस्त मुझे कह रहा है कि तुम्हारा बाल उड़ने वाला है 1 साल और तुम ऐसा काम करो. तो अगर तुमको लगता है कि तुम 5 घंटे पढ़ के बहुत बड़ा तीर मार लिए हो और तुमको भी वही मिलना चाहिए जो दूसरों को मिल रहा है, तो you are thinking in a wrong direction. And when I compare this with the time when I was preparing, this seems easy. I was putting much more hours and much more effort when I was preparing, at least during my first attempt. तुम लोग जो 5 घंटा 6 घंटा पढ़ने के बाद थक जाते हो ना कि आज तो हो गया कोटा पूरा, अब चलो दो दोस्तों से बात कर लेते हैं और व्हाट्सएप स्टेटस चेक कर लेते हैं, फेसबुक पे कुछ नया आया क्या, इंस्टा पे क्या चल रहा है। सचेत हो जाओ, देयर आर पीपल हु आर डूइंग दैट। थकान तो तुम लोग को मेरी आंखों में दिख रही होगी कि कितना थका हुआ मैं, बट एंड व्हाई डू आई डू दिस, ये भी हो सकता है कि मतलब लाइक आई कैन टेल वन गाय, एक क्लास में बंद कर सकता हूँ, एक क्लास कम कर सकता हूँ, एक किसी कोचिंग वालों को मना कर सकता हूँ कि ठीक है मैं नहीं करूंगा। Why I'm still doing this? Because today I'm in such a situation that I choose my work. Nobody tells me कि आपको क्या करना है। I choose कि मुझे ये काम करना है जिससे मैं क्लास ले रहा हूँ, because I have decided that I have to take this class. And I would have very well told you all कि ठीक है आज ठीक नहीं लग रहा है and we will meet next weekend. कर सकता था ना। There's no boss sitting here कि तुम why are you not taking this class. And almost everything that I do is in that kind of work only. I choose my work. मुझे लगता है कि हाँ ये मुझे करना चाहिए तो मैं वो करता हूँ. And when you choose your work, you put whatever you have. और जो मैंने वो 14 घंटा बताया उसमें वो टाइम छोड़ दो कि जो फिर फोन करके लोग अलग अलग तरीके की like some of you have talked to me in this class also, and you know when I talk patiently. मैं कभी आधे घंटे भी बात किया होगा मैंने तुम लोगों में से कई लोगों से, और मैं कभी ये नहीं कहता हूँ कि भाई आज तुम्हारा टाइम खत्म हो गया अब चलो कल बात करते हैं। जब तक तुमको समाधान नहीं मिलता है तब तक बात करता हूँ जनरली। तो it's not a one way process. All the success that you see in the world, you just see the top of, it's like iceberg, you just see the success कि हाँ ये आदमी यहाँ पहुंच गया है। In any field, whether it is a politician, you just see कि अरे ये कड़क politician है। I've never seen the kind of hard work that politician has done. They work for 24 hours. They have suffered, gone through so many phases. And that's why they are where they are. Think about any businessman, think about any IAS, IPS officers, anyone you see, you consider it successful. It's successful because to achieve that success, they have left everything. If you want to be exceptional, you have to be obsessed with what you are doing. It should be nothing else. कोई कह रहा है कि सर मैं कुछ लोग बहुत मजेदार होते हैं। Somebody is saying, sir, my mind is, I've not disclosed the name, but sir, my mind is out of control, restless, cause of Valentine's Day. ये भी मजेदार है। चलो थोड़ा सा पॉलिटी पढ़ते हैं एंड देन वी विल सी. सो व्हाट्स द मोरल ऑफ दिस स्टोरी? आधे घंटे में क्या सीखा तुम लोगों ने? एनीवन? सब अपना अपना थोड़ा लिखो. व्हाट यू लर्न, व्हाट यू थिंक नाउ यू हैव टू डू, एनी चेंजेस दैट यू विल बी ब्रिंगिंग इन योर लाइफ गोइंग फॉरवर्ड आफ्टर दिस. Good. In the last class, we were discussing about the social division and the politics of social division. See, one thing that you have to learn from NCRTs is not just the facts or the lessons that I'm telling you. You have to learn the vocabulary as well. Until unless you know that there is something called politics of social division, you will never understand what this actually is, how the society functions. So learning the words, actually there are a separate group of scholars who work on linguistics, and they say that until unless we know about certain words, we do not actually know, or we cannot possibly learn about that subject. Let's suppose that in a civilization, nobody knows that, nobody has a word for ice. It will be very difficult for that community to express कि what ice is. जिनको जिनके वोकेबलरी में आइस या उससे सिमिलर कोई वर्ड है ही नहीं, आइस और बर्फ और गोला जो भी बोलो, अगर वो वर्ड नहीं है, they cannot possibly explain what it is. If there is not a word called hatred, it will be very difficult for that community to express what hatred means, or for that person as well. They may understand कि ये कुछ ऐसा है, लेकिन they cannot explain this. And this is very true for the knowledge as well. We learn the things through the linguistics. So the better your vocabulary is, more ideas you can process, more ideas you can form. So work upon your vocabulary and try to keep these words with you. Make these words your own. Politics of social division, communalism, religious differences. So we were reading about communalism, and here we have ended our discussion. Once again, we will start with what communalism means. See, until unless you have read a lot about religious differences, religious biasness, religious communal or क्या बोले religious fights, rights. But see, just by understanding what communalism actually means, the whole idea for how religion and politics work will change. So what communalism do is it starts with some very basic things. Its root is in basic things which we think are naive or which we think are not dangerous, common. First thing is that religion is expressed in politics in exclusive and partisan terms. First, religious leaders will start talking about religion in exclusive and partisan terms. They will start talking that Hindus are doing this and Muslims are doing this. Hindus के लिए शमशान और मुस्लिम के लिए कब्रिस्तान. So it starts with there, and there's you will not find much problem in this. It's like हाँ ठीक है ना, it's talking about equality and all, but it's talking in exclusive terms that इसके लिए ये बने और इसके लिए भी ये बने. दिवाली में छुट्टी हो तो ईद में भी छुट्टी हो. So it's teaching two communities against each other. Although you ask any person, even you are asking me, if I do not know the whole story that how it progresses, I will what's the problem in this? बहुत अच्छा स्टेटमेंट है हाँ भाई इक्वलिटी होनी चाहिए बट व्हाट इट्स डूइंग इट्स क्रिएटिंग अ डिवाइड दैट द इंटरेस्ट्स ऑफ हिंदूज एंड इंटरेस्ट्स ऑफ मुस्लिम्स आर डिफरेंट एंड यू शुड बी बोथ दीज कम्युनिटीज शुड बी थिंकिंग अबाउट देयर ओन सेपरेट interests. So talking in exclusive and partisan terms, when one religion and its followers are pitted against other. ये करने के लिए क्या होगा सबसे पहले the belief this happens when the belief of one religion are presented as superior to those of other religions in any community. If anybody is telling you that your religious is superior, then others get aware. If you also think that your religion is better than any other religion, take a pause. And it's same for all. It's not just for Hindus. Even in this class, if any Muslim or any Christian thinks that your religion is superior than any other religion, stop, take a pause, and reconsider your stance. Because you are already on a very slippery slope. यहाँ से जब फिसलना शुरू करोगे तो सीधा वहां अल्ट्रा वाले फॉर्म में जाके एंड होता है ये. So belief of one religion, this happens when beliefs of one religion are presented as superior to those of other religions. On beliefs of one religion, the things I believe, like my Allah is better than any other god. This kind of belief, if you are possessing, you are on a very dangerous track. If you are believing that Vedas are better book than any other book, you are on a very dangerous track. If you believe that Isa Masih is the only God and Christianity is the best book, you are on a dangerous track. So beliefs of one religion are presented as superior to those of the other religions. And when some people do this, we also do not find any problem in this. Like internet is filled with such babas and gurus. So whatever Sri Ravi Shankar or Sadhguru is doing, then or any क्या नाम था उसका मुस्लिम क्या नाम था उसका मैं नाम भूल गया रे मैं उसकी बहुत वीडियोस देखता था. He was involved in those a Muslim guy who used to convert people on TV. बैंड फ्रॉम इंडिया, क्या नाम था उसका, किसी को आइडिया है? Anyway, so these religious preachers are not actually voicing any hatred against any religion, but they are trying to pursue you or persuade you. हाँ, यूनिवर्सल ब्रदरहुड बताओ, कुछ कहना चाहते हो? हाँ, जाकिर नायक, जाकिर नायक, गुड, जाकिर नायक. So these people are not doing anything bad at, like, देखने से नहीं लगता, ये तो थोड़ा ज्यादा हो गया था एक्सट्रीम, बट इन लोगों का कुछ ऐसा एक्सट्रीम नहीं लगता. They're just saying you one thing, that my beliefs are superior than any other belief. Same, it happens in Christianity. ये भी बहुत बुरा नहीं लगता अपने को, लगता है कि हाँ ठीक है, मतलब ओके, my beliefs are superior than any other beliefs, be proud. This is promoted on the name of being proud of your religion, कि सबको अपने रिलीजन पे प्राउड होना चाहिए. वी आर ऑल्सो प्राउड ऑफ आवर रिलीजन. बट प्राइड और सुपीरियरिटी में अंतर है. Being proud of your religion is a different thing, and thinking that my religion is the only religion or my religion is the best religion is where again the second step of downfall starts. So third step happens when the demands of one religious groups are formed in opposition to the another. क्या होता है थर्ड स्टेप में? फर्स्ट यू were treated as ki your needs are different than others. Second, you started believing ki what you believe is better than others. And the third, where it's the demands of one religious groups are formed in opposition to the other. So leaders will start saying that what we need is exactly different than what others are asking. Like all this hijab issue. Actually, everybody wants quality education. You also want quality education. Muslims also want quality education. People in Karnataka also want quality education, and people in Bihar also want quality education. But nobody is talking about education because it has been projected that as if the demand of one religious group is formed in opposition of other. Okay, what you need is what Hindus need is different than what Muslims need. But in reality, all of you need the same thing: quality education, good teachers, timely exams, good jobs. So, but leaders will make you believe that your needs, your requirements are different than the requirements of other group. Goes for same, not just, I'm not targeting any other community. It happens across the religion. And then fourth and the final step, which fortunately it's not happening at that extent in India, at least till now, that state power is used to establish the domination of one religious group over the rest. But we are moving toward this. When a state power, the government, will use its power, its mechanism, machinery, to fight against us. फोर स्टेप्स. विपिन चंद्रा पढ़ोगे अगर हिस्ट्री का, तो उसमें एक पूरा चैप्टर ही है कम्युनलिज्म. It's a very detailed written how what is the history of communalism and how it has started in India and how it grew, how it led to partition, what were the causes of partition. अच्छा चैप्टर है वो, एक चैप्टर विपिन चंद्रा से पढ़ना चाहिए. So communal politics is based on the idea that religion is the principal basis of social community. It is based, the political leaders will make you believe that everything that you do in the society must be guided by religion. So what you wear, what you eat, how you sleep, how you drink, who you vote. should be decided by your religion. Where you live should be decided by your religion. Religion becomes the principal basis of social community. But is it? Do we always think of religion before doing anything in our life? Is it really that religion is the principal basis of social community? I don't think so. So communalism involves thinking along following lines. क्या कहते हैं? Followers of a particular religion must belong to one community. Communalism ऐसा create करता है कि if you follow Hinduism, you must belong to one community. If you follow Islam, you must follow to another category. So people of two religions should not mix with each other, or they cannot form one single community. One religion, one community. Their fundamental interests are same. And it says that all Hindus will have same interest. Do you think that all Hindus have same interest? Do you think that all Muslims have same interest? Those who are asking for Muslim rights, do you think all Muslims have same interest or all Christians have same interest? Those who are saying that we will create a Muslim Rashtra or Hindu Rashtra. All Hindus are not same. All Muslims are also not same. But the communalism make you believe that the interests of all the Hindus is same. If there will be rise of Hinduism, everybody will gain. That's not true. And any difference that they may have is irrelevant or trivial for community life. Communalism say कि अगर हिंदुओं में आपस में कोई difference है भी, that's immaterial. So if there is a caste based discrimination, they will say we will sort out later. That's not a big issue. If there is a violation of women rights, patriarchy, they will say not a big issue. We will sort it out later. It's a trivial or irrelevant thing. Similarly happens with Islam. If there is derogatory issues, derogatory rituals happening there, they'll say no. Focus on the main theme. Focus on unity of Islam. By raising the issues against Islam, you will weaken the community. So do not speak anything against Islam. Any difference that may have is irrelevant or trivial for community life. It also follows that people who follow different religions cannot belong to same social community. क्या कहता है कि हिंदूज और मुस्लिम्स कभी भी एक कम्युनिटी में नहीं रह सकते, या for say any other community. I'm taking examples of Hindus and Muslims because these are the two major religions in India. It's true for all other countries. The religion can be different, but the thinking process is same, that people of two different communities cannot make one same social community. And they say if the followers of different religions have any commonalities, they are superficial or immaterial. So if Hindus and Muslims both will start demanding for land reforms, they will say that this is superficial. Do not bother about these trivial issues. Main issue पे ध्यान दीजिए. So they will say that such commonalities are superficial or immaterial. Their interests are bound to be different and involve a conflict. Say कि ये दोनों का जो difference है, they will always, their interest will always be different and there always be conflict between the two. ऐसा communalism बोलता है. In its extreme form, communalism leads to belief, and when communalism becomes very extreme, like the fourth stage, it leads to the belief that people belonging to different religion cannot live as an equal citizen within one nation. Says that if, like what happened in Myanmar, Buddhists said that even Rohingyas in Myanmar cannot live as equal citizens. What is happening in Sri Lanka? They're saying that Tamils cannot live as equal citizens. And some people in India also said that Muslims should not be given the right to vote or something like that. So It says that two people of two religions cannot live together, and one religion must always be superior and controlling the country, and people of other religions should be treated as the second class citizens. One of them has to dominate the rest. Says this belief is fundamentally flawed. ये जो कुछ भी इन्होंने कहा वो सब flawed है. Why it is flawed? Because we know that people of one religion do not have same interest. All the Muslims do not have the same interest. Muslims of Kashmir may have different issues than Muslims of Kerala. Muslim women may have different concerns than Muslim men. Muslim young youths may have different challenges for them. They do not want to read Quran or do 6 time namaz. They want jobs. They want economic security. तो उनके लिए ये इशू नहीं है कि हमारे मस्जिद में नमाज पढ़ने दिया जा रहा है या नहीं दिया जा रहा है. उनके लिए इशू है कि am I able to get the required skill? Am I able to speak in English or not? Am I able to participate in the job market or not? So skills of different Muslims, different Hindus are different. Interests are different. And all these voices have the right to be heard. What communalism does is it says that everybody has the one voice and all the minor voices within the religion are suppressed. So if a person in Islam is asking for reforms, that voice will be suppressed by the stronger voice. Similarly, in Hinduism, if some voices are asking for reforms, those voices will be suppressed by the stronger voice. Now, communalism take various forms in politics. Communalism क्या form ले सकता है? The most common expression of communalism is in everyday beliefs. When we prejudice, stereotype people of different religions, and this is so common that we often fail to notice, even when we believe in it. We believe in the superiority of one's religion over other religions. And I hope all of you do this, no matter what your religion is. This is the most basic everyday example of communalism, where you and all of us attach certain stereotypes with the people of other religion because we do not actually know कि क्या हिंदू क्या करते हैं और मुस्लिम क्या करते हैं, and it is a part of our day-to-day everyday life in our households. People pass comments and jokes and prejudicial statements against the people of other religion. अरे वो तो हिंदू हैं, वो तो ऐसा करते हैं. अरे वो तो मुस्लिम है, अरे वो तो ऐसा करते हैं. And you must have heard these comments in your society, in your families as well. सुनते हो ऐसा? A communal mind often leads to a quest of political dominance of one's religious community. अब अगर if you are having this communal mind, you will come up with this idea that your religion should have political dominance. And if you belong to the majority community, and this is for same, like even Muslims can think of having the political dominance, Hindus can think of having the political dominance. And if this happens, if the majority community start believing that they should have the political dominance, it takes the form of majoritarian dominance. And for the minority community, it takes the form of a separate political unit. Minority community will start thinking about having their own state, having their own country. Third form, political mobilization or ritual rights is another frequent form. Political communalization होगा जहाँ sacred symbols, religious leaders, emotional appeals, plain fear in order to bring followers of one religion together in a political arena. Yuval, Yuval, क्या नाम है? Yuval Noah Harari writes a very good essay on this. And he talks about two things. See, the basic trigger for us to take any action is twofold. Either we do certain things in fear or we do certain things for greed. या तो आप लालच से कुछ करते हैं या फिर डर से कुछ करते हैं. And fear is a very, very, very powerful emotion. In fear, people do things that they cannot even imagine otherwise. तुम भी कभी कभी होगा कि डर के तुम छत पर से कूद गए होगे, जो ऐसा कभी नहीं सोचे होगे कूद सकते हो. बहुत बड़ी नाली पान जाओगे, डर के हमारे यूसेन बोल्ट से भी ज्यादा तेज दौड़ गए होगे, या डर के मारे किसी से लड़ गए होगे जिससे तुम ऐसे सोच नहीं सकते कि लड़ सकते हैं. Politicians know this and they use this trigger. Whenever some leader is talking to you that your religion is in danger, it's for same majority and minority दोनों के लिए. तुमको अगर कोई लीडर कहता है कि योर रिलीजन इज इन डेंजर, he just trying to trigger this one response in you. Be afraid, be fearful, because when you are fearful, you will do whatever he will ask you to do. The same way how coaching industry work. Why people pay 2 lakh rupees in a coaching institute? They are afraid कि मेरा नहीं होगा, मेरा करियर कहाँ जाएगा, I don't know. So by paying 2 lakh rupees, it gives you a sense of satisfaction कि हाँ अब हो जाएगा, nothing is missing now. You will not study after that, लेकिन दे के तुमको थोड़ा संतुष्टि हो रहा है. So religious leaders will do this. They will again and again tell the same thing to you that you are in danger, your religion is in danger, your religion is in danger. And because your religion is in danger, you are in danger. You will be killed and you will not have this liberty and you will not have the right. All this. They will point out the things that had changed in your religion. See where we were. Think about, like Sarath was saying in the last class, think about the Gupta period, the golden period. We could have returned to the golden period of Hinduism. But think about Muslims will tell you to think about the 10th, 11th century, the glorious days of Islam, and we can again return back to that. But they will never tell you that history takes its own course. Things which are at the top today will decline. USA will not always remain the best of the best countries. It will decline. The decline has already started. So, but this idea of fear and greed is very powerful. And it's a very big threat to democracy. Why? Because once you started voting someone out of fear, you now do not have any real choice. This is for both, for Muslims and Hindus. अगर तुम ओवैसी को इसलिए वोट कर रहे हो बिकॉज यू आर अफ्रेड कि मैंने अगर ओवैसी को नहीं वोट किया तो मेरा क्या होगा, और इफ यू आर वोटिंग फॉर बीजेपी, दैट इफ यू विल नॉट वोट फॉर बीजेपी, व्हाट विल हैपन टू यू, द काइंड ऑफ रेटरिक दैट इज गोइंग ऑन इन यूपी. So when you vote someone out of fear, you are actually not given any choice because you do not have practically any choice. You have only one option. Otherwise, you are afraid that anything can happen to you. So communalism implants this fear in you. In electoral politics, it often involves special appeal to the interests and emotions of the voter of one religion in preference to other. And in the most ugly phase, it takes the form of communal violence. Now, we have talked about these issues before a lot of times. Today, the conflict, the gap between the communities is increasing. And for some people, it's okay. For some people, it's even good. It's a revival of some religion or so. But what is the culmination of it? Have you ever thought about it? What it will lead to? What will be the end of this rising tension? Where it will end? What you will do? Like if let's suppose it grows in full proportion and we become like Nazi Germany, what you will do? You will start killing all these people, or they will start killing you. यही होगा ना? That's the end. Where you will throw this 14, 15 crore, 17 crore people. Another partition, another division, a civil war. What's the end? It's even it's frightening to just even imagine where it can end. Today it sounds very good to say कि हाँ भाई हम अपना अधिकार लेकर रहेंगे and we have been crushed for so many years and we will rise again and shine again. It sounds very good, but what's the end? Because probably you have never heard about what happened during communal violence, what happened during partition. And I will suggest you some reading from my side if you want to understand and know the pain. There is an author, you must have heard the name. क्या नाम है? किसी को याद आ रहा है? Amazon Siddiqui made a movie on him recently. मैं नाम बहुत भूल जाता हूँ. अभी दिमाग में था, स्लिप हो गया. मंटो. So he is an Indian author. He was Muslim, so after partition he migrated to Pakistan, but kept writing about partition. So most of his writings are about partition. His writings were banned for very long time, banned in India as well as Pakistan. Such a great author. दोनों country ban कर देते हैं. They were banned for its vulgarity. Now you should go and read some of the stories of Manto if you really want to understand what was happening during partition, what kind of pain people were suffering. Sometimes history books could not capture the real extent. In history books, you just read the numbers. 5 lakhs people died, or thousands of women were raped. But you do not understand what was happening at that time. So, if you want to read मंटो की एक कहानी है खोल दो कोई मौका मिले तो पढ़ना उसको. यूट्यूब वगैरह पे भी मिल जाएगा शायद उसका. बहुत it's very famous now. The act is played in almost all known theaters. So what is the end? It's very frightening, and not for one community. Don't think if you are majority you will win, or don't think that you have support from the global community so you will win, or don't think that you are much more powerful or Allah is with you so you will win, और हनुमान जी आएंगे तुमको बचाने. तो it's problem for everyone. Nobody is safe at such a when such a violence is happening. So that's why we need a secular state. That is why we choose the model of a secular state. In India, we do not have any official religion. Buddhism is the official religion of Sri Lanka, Islam is of Pakistan, and Christianity in England. But we do not have any official religion. Constitution provides the right to everyone to practice, profess, and propagate. Now, this one term is very important. It's not just saying कि profess and practice. It's also giving the right to propagate. इसे बहुत लंबा डिबेट हुआ था कॉन्स्टिट्यूंट असेंबली में. So people will have the right to propagate, to teach their religion, to spread their religion. And the thought, yes, it's okay. Until unless it's coercive, until unless someone is being forced or cheated into converting to their religion, it's okay. It prohibits discrimination on the basis of religion. But अगर कोई ऐसे आए इस इशू पे लिखने के लिए, now I think you have a lot of content, and this is a very good statement to end upon, that a secular constitution is necessary that we have. It's very good that we have a secular constitution, but it's not sufficient to combat communalism. Just having a secular constitution doesn't mean anything if people are not trained or they do not imbibe this value of secularism in them. So by now we have seen two kinds of social division of gender and social division of religion. We see that politics of gender is always good. Politics of religion is largely negative. The way politicization has happened, it's largely negative. Now, the third topic is caste, and we will see that politics of caste is both positive and negative. I will not go much deeper into this because I hope you have some understanding about the issue. बस एक चीज यही समझना है कि division of politics of caste is good or bad. What are the good things about politics of caste? कितने लोगों को लगता है कि पॉलिटिक्स ऑफ कास्ट होनी चाहिए, कास्ट पॉलिटिक्स होनी चाहिए? नहीं होनी चाहिए. What was Ambedkar doing? What Ambedkar did all his life? What politics he was doing? What kind of politics Ambedkar was doing all his life? Politics of caste. So do you think what he was doing was bad? No, right? So caste politics in itself is not bad. Caste politics, no, even today, Padmini, caste politics gives expression to the desires, opinions, expressions of the caste which have been suppressed for a very long time. So caste politics is very important. If in a country like India, if there is no caste politics, today, this is an old expression that I heard from my father, and how the police, he was on some election duty and he heard some he was telling, बिहार में या यूपी में बहुत कास्ट पॉलिटिक्स है, right? Especially people of one particular caste. Yadavs will vote for one particular community. So in UP, they will vote for Sapa. In Bihar, they will vote for Lalu Yadav's party, RJD. Now, sitting outside, it may sounds so impractical, immature, and so wrong that why people of one party will vote, people of one caste will vote for one party. But I will just tell you an anecdote. So this was happening in some village somewhere. And so two people from Yadav community are talking and they are like कि इस बार आरजेडी को वोट नहीं देना है, दूसरे को वोट देना है, बीजेपी या उसको. द अदर गाई सेड कि दे देना, अभी तो कम से कम बराबर में बैठने का राइट मिल गया है ना, वो भी अधिकार मिल गया है, वो भी फिर चला जाएगा, फिर जमीन वोट दे देना और फिर जमीन पे बैठना. ऐसा एक्सप्रेशन था. If you do not know the history, you'll go back and ask your parents, no matter from which caste they belong to or you belong to. You ask your parents if they come from, and no matter from which state they're coming, ask them the situation before 1990s or 1980s, for say. Ask about the status of OBCs in your community, the communities like Yadavs and all. I have seen, I don't know how many of you have seen, but I have seen a very pale image of that, where the people of, forget about SC STs, when people of OBC community would not dare to sit on the equal chair. So if even if three people are sitting and one chair is empty, if a person from a OBC community or SC ST community is coming, they will not sit on the chair but sit on the ground. That thing has changed. And that thing has changed only because of the political empowerment of this community. Do you think it's good or bad? ये पॉलिटिकल एम्पावरमेंट होना चाहिए था या नहीं होना चाहिए था? डू यू थिंक ये 90s में जो हो रहा था ठीक हो रहा था? The things have changed, and that has happened because after 1980s we see a rise, a different kind of caste politics starting in India, where people from OBC community find an expression, a political expression. But casteism is bad because when it's take the root, like communalism, communists were saying religion is the only basis of social community. Casteism में क्या कहते हैं? Caste is the sole basis of social community. So all the Yadavs should have same interest, or all the people from SC community should have same interest. This takes the form of casteism in politics. We're not even talking about untouchability and all these practices. Now, some of you may believe, may be saying, sir, हम तो casteism नहीं follow करते हैं. But I think we have already seen some of the data, how the people of SC, ST community or OBC community are still lacking behind a lot. And as we discussed about religious prejudices, all of you keep a hand on your heart and ask, that are you free from all caste prejudices? Don't you see in your family people still practicing caste prejudices? आज भी मैंने तो देखा है, और मुझे लगता है तुम लोगों ने देखा होगा, separate plates and separate cups are kept aside for people of separate castes. So if you're saying that casteism has died just because you have put a blindfold on your eyes, So caste hierarchy is still there, although reduced in some senses. Politics of caste becomes bad when a particular caste is treated as a vote bank. You must have heard the expression, like Ram Vilas Paswan has the key for all the SC/ST vote, or uh, कौन है ये? Amar Singh has had. He has all the Muslim votes for with him, and others are waiting for their chances. Who will unlock the Yadav vote and who will unlock the Kurmi vote and the Rajput vote? So these are vote banks. Now, a new kind of Dalit politics has started, and that is also going into a very different direction. Now, a kind of militant and very assertive kind of Dalit politics had started, led by some groups like Bhim Army and all. And many scholars from the same community do not agree with these ideas, because again, aggression will lead to more counter attacks from other community. So उसको भी थोड़ा देखना है, पढ़ना ये चैप्टर. दिस चैप्टर विल हेल्प यू अ लॉट in framing your essays. एग्जैक्ट जो की वर्ड्स हैं उनको याद रखने की कोशिश करना. कास्ट हायरार्की क्या होता है? You can write an essay, but if you will use the word like occupational mobility, caste hierarchy, we read all these things in great detail in sociology. जिनको sociology नहीं लेना है वो लोग अच्छे से पढ़ लेना. जिनको लेना है, wait for some time. By the end of the March, we will be starting a new batch for sociology optional. So those who have not yet started your sociology or want to take sociology, we will discuss these things again there. Now, ideas about pressure groups and movements. Again, a direct topic from our syllabus. इसको एक बार पढ़ना खुद से. मैं बहुत ज़्यादा इसके डिटेल में आज नहीं जा रहा हूँ. But the basic idea is that protests are very important. In a democracy, protests forms the basis of the political expression of the people. Sometimes we are told that protesters are anti-nationalists, or protesters are not allowing the country to work in certain ways. But there is a famous statement you all of you must remember this, said by Ram Manohar Lohia once, कि जब सड़कें सुनसान हो जाती हैं तो संसद आवारा हो जाती है. When people do not participate in struggle, in protests, when people do not come on the roads to ask for their demands, Parliament thinks it's free to do whatever it wants to do. So to keep a check upon Parliament, it's very necessary for the people to participate in these protests. पढ़ना इसको बहुत सारे जजमेंट्स दिए, बहुत सारे ओपिनियंस दिए हैं कि हाउ एंड व्हेन दिस मूवमेंट्स हैव हेल्प्ड. अभी तो दिस अ वेरी गुड कॉन्टेक्स्ट. नाउ वी हैव फार्मर्स मूवमेंट एंड वी सॉ दैट हाउ it kind of forced the government to change its stance. Pressure group is a term that you should know. Pressure groups basically क्या है? Are the organizations that attempt to influence the government policies. See, there are two ways to influence the government. once you directly form a party, you win the election and then you decide what should be done. But the pressure groups, they do not take part in the elections directly, but they will try to influence the government policies. How they influence these? These organizations are formed and people with common interest, aspiration, opinions come together in order to achieve a common objective. Like what happened recently, railway declared its result for NTPC and all. Students were not happy with this result, so they created a pressure group. They organized a protest and they influenced the government policy. So government has to call back the result. So what happened? Then students with common interest, the common interest was NTPC exams result. They achieved their common objective. Similarly, in Nepal, we saw people came and protested, and that led to the establishment of democracy there. Now, there is one other term which is interest group. दोनों kind of similar है, pressure group and interest group. Like an interest group, a movement also attempts to movement. तीन टर्म है, प्रेशर पार्टी, प्रेशर ग्रुप एंड मूवमेंट. मूवमेंट क्या करता है? मूवमेंट ऑल्सो अटेम्प्ट टू इन्फ्लुएंस द पॉलिसीज रादर देन डायरेक्टली टेक पार्ट इन इलेक्टोरल कैंपेन. So pressure group and movement are same in the sense that they want to achieve or they want to influence the government without directly taking part in electoral competition. लेकिन movements क्या होता है? Movements are loose organizations. Pressure groups are very strong organizations. They have their leadership, chairman, vice chairman, secretary, everything will be decided. So I don't know how many of you were following और तुम लोगों में कितना दिमाग था उस समय, बहुत कम रहा होगा. In 2012-13 we had massive protests in Delhi. The protest was India against corruption protest. India against corruption movement actually. So at that time when it was in the phase of movement led by Anna Hazare and all, it was very loose. So anybody used to come and participate in this. Then this movement turned into a political party, Aam Aadmi Party. Pehle, this movement turned into a group, India Against Corruption. So their decision making is more formal and informal and flexible. Like when students were protesting for this, they were basically acting as a movement, not as a pressure group. क्योंकि यहाँ पे कोई movement, कोई organization नहीं था. Nobody was leading. These protests were very sporadic. कहीं पे किसी स्टेट में कुछ कर रहे हैं, कहीं पे कुछ कर रहे हैं. So they depend upon spontaneous and mass participation. But interest group is much more organized. Now interest groups can be of trade unions, business associations, professionals bodies. जैसे कि एक हमारे बहुत बड़ा एक प्रेशर ग्रुप है बिजनेसमैन का. सो बिजनेसमैन क्रिएट देयर pressure groups and they pressurize government to make opinion in their interest. Similarly, farmers can make their pressure group and they can pressurize government to make decisions in their interest. वैसे ही एक माइनॉरिटीज के लिए अपने यहाँ प्रेशर ग्रुप है, बैकवर्ड एंड माइनॉरिटी कम्युनिटीज एम्प्लॉयर फॉर फेडरेशन, बाम सेफ. यू मस्ट हैव हर्ड द नेम आल्सो. दिस इज an organization of already working people. They organize largely, their organization is made up of government employees that campaign against caste discrimination. इसको पढ़ना एक बार, Again, I'm not going into that detail. I have highlighted a lot of things. जो भी highlighted है उसको एक बार ठीक से देखना. And if you find any problem, you can discuss. But the chapter is very important. ठीक है. बाकी जो ideas हैं, most of the ideas we have discussed. The political parties now. Why do we need political parties? बहुत important question है. In fact, the question is asked in sociology in mains answer. Same UPSC ने mains में question पूछा है कि why do we need political parties? Is it necessary to have political parties? पार्टी खत्म कर देते सब प्रॉब्लम भी खत्म हो जाता है ना इतना. So two stalwarts of Indian freedom struggle movement, or one of the few of the greatest thinkers that India has produced, Gandhi and Jayaprakash Narayan. Both these guys have talked about partyless politics. दोनों क्या बोलते हैं कि पॉलिटिक्स में पार्टीज नहीं होनी चाहिए. Like if you know, in rural PRI, Panchayati Raj institutions, parties are not allowed. Parties do not fight Panchayati Raj elections. Anybody can stand for a post of Mukhya or ward member. They do not need any backing from any party. So Gandhi's idea, and even Jayaprakash Narayan's idea was that decentralization should be so strong that we do not need any political party. People can sort out, or people can plan their developmental activities on their own. Previous page देख लेना आराम से जाके अल्ताफ. कुछ डाउट होता मिलेंगे 3 बजे वाले सेशन में, एक बार देख के फिर पूछ लेना. We will discuss. Why do we need political parties? So that's the question. पहले the meaning of political party. The definition is, बहुत अच्छा definition है, you should know. Political party is a group of people who come together to contest election and hold power in the government. So political party will always contest elections, and their main aim is to hold power in the government. They agree on social policies and programs of the society with a view to promote the collective good. So all the people who will join a political party, they will share similar ideas. They have the same goal to how to promote the collective good. Country का कैसे development किया जाए, उनके लिए उनका कुछ idea होगा. Now, the parties reflect fundamental political division in a society. Parties are a part of society and thus involve partisanship. Whenever there will be party, the community will be divided based upon the party line, and that's called partisanship. And when we read this in ethics, we talk about non-partisanship. As an IAS officer or as a civil servant, you are supposed to have a non-partisanship approach. No matter which government is in power, no matter you like their working, their style, or their ideology, you have to support them. But as a citizen, you can be partisan. So a political party must have 3 things. It should have a leaders, it should have the active members, and it should have followers. Functions of political party में देख लोगे तो they contest election, they form policies and programs. One major task that they do is they reduce a vast multitude of opinions into few basic positions which it supports. Basically, there are thousands of things that a political party can say, that I will do this and I will do this, and hundreds of things that are there to be done. But one single thing a party can do, that I will bring universal civil code, आपको समझ में आ गया कि वो पार्टी क्या करना चाहती है. So they reduce the vast multitude of opinions into a few basic positions, that what we will do. Or economically, a party can say we will promote Swadeshi, or a party can say come and say we will promote agriculture. So basic stand is made clear, based upon which we vote parties. We do not ask each and every idea of a party. Parties play a decisive role in making laws in our country. Basically, it is these political parties which inform that what to do. Political parties will be forming and running the government. इनका एक अच्छा काम क्या है? Political parties recruit leaders, train them and make them ministers to run the government in the way they want. So you see, political parties first recruit young people at very low posts. They slowly get this training and rise up the ranks and then become ministers. So political parties are basically the universities. They also play the role of opposition by voicing different views and criticizing the government for its failures and wrong views. Political parties, so even a party has lost the election, that doesn't mean that its role has ended. Even a party which has lost plays a very important role in opposition. You will read about UK. What in UK, what opposition does is that they form a shadow cabinet. You have read about cabinet, right? So UK में ये shadow cabinet बनाते हैं. मतलब if you terms in the term thing, if you think in the terms of India, अगर बीजेपी ने बनाए finance minister, defense minister, education minister and all, opposition will also appoint from their party one person and they will call themselves as, मतलब ये उनका minister होगा, shadow cabinet. And whenever the finance minister will come up with a bill, the opposition member will also is supposed to come up with his own version of bill. कि ये नहीं, ये होता तो अच्छा होता. अगर एजुकेशन मिनिस्टर कुछ बिल ला रहा है तो ये अपोजिशन वाला भी अपना बिल लाएगा. Although they will not impact the working of the ruling party, but they will inform the government, the janta, that this I could have done this in a better way. हमारे यहाँ ऐसा नहीं होता है, but that's the role of opposition. We should also think about doing something like this, having a shadow cabinet. They shape the public opinion. Public को किधर लेके जाना है, parties decide that. Parties provide people access to government machinery and welfare schemes implemented by the government. So you see, the members of the political parties, they go door to door and make people aware about the schemes which are being launched by the party. So they help in this as well. I've already told you about non-party based elections at panchayat level. So finally, क्या कह सकते हैं कि parties are necessary condition for a democracy. A democracy cannot be there without parties. Now, how many parties should be there? In India, we have 750 parties. Parties basically तीन तरीके से डिवाइड करते हैं. नेशनल पार्टी एंड स्टेट पार्टी और कुछ अनरजिस्टर्ड पार्टीज हैं. सो नेशनल पार्टीज, देयर आर सम क्राइटेरियाज कि कौन सी पार्टी को नेशनल पार्टी बोला जाएगा. When you will be reading Lakshmikant, you will get exact information that if some party is getting at least 2% of Lok Sabha seats, or if they are getting 5% of vote or something like that, तो उनको नेशनल पार्टी बोलेंगे. वैसे ही स्टेट इलेक्शंस में होता है. अगर कोई नेशनल पार्टी है, दे गेट अ लॉट ऑफ फैसिलिटीज फ्रॉम इलेक्शन कमीशन। यहाँ पे कुछ सर्टेन क्राइटेरिया दिया है। अ पार्टी दैट सिक्योर्स एटलीस्ट 6% ऑफ टोटल वोट्स in an election in legislative assembly of a state and win at least 2 seats is recognized as state party. नेशनल पार्टी का भी कुछ होगा, नेशनल पार्टी का नहीं दिया इसमें। सो स्टेट पार्टी का क्या बता रहे हैं? अच्छा हाँ, यार देखिए, रिकॉग्नाइज एज नेशनल पार्टी। सो टू बी रिकॉग्नाइज इन स्टेट पार्टी, ये थोड़ा समझ लो, कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है। A party has to secure at least 6% of total votes in an election of legislative assembly. Let's suppose in Bihar, or let's suppose in UP, elections are happening. So there is Sapa, there is Baspa, there is BJP, there is Congress. These are the main players we know. Then there are thousands, like hundreds of other smaller parties. अपना दल में भी 2 अभी हो गया या 3 हो गया, पता नहीं कितने हो गए हैं. Then MIM is also, like Owaisi has also declared that he will be fighting, and Bhim Army is also saying that they will create their own party and they will also fight. Now, whether all these parties are equal? No. क्राइटेरिया क्या है कि अगर कोई पार्टी पीछे वाले इलेक्शन में, लेजिस्लेटिव इलेक्शन में 6% ऑफ टोटल वोट्स उनको मिलता है, they will be, and they have won at least 2 seats, and they have won at least 2 seats, they will be declared as state party. So all the states party get some time on Doordarshan or radio to do advertisement for them. These parties are given some relaxation in election expenditure. They can spend more money. Similarly for national party, तो अभी क्या देखो, ये सारी पार्टी जब शायद भीम आर्मी और MIM, they will not come into state party, so they will not get the same level of support from election commission. वैसे नेशनल पार्टी के लिए क्या है, 6% वोट चाहिए लोकसभा के इलेक्शन में, और यह एंड नहीं है, और है, ठीक है, फोकस करना है। और इन असेंबली इलेक्शंस इन 4 states, और दे हैव won 6% सीट्स इन 4 states। 4 स्टेट में इन्होंने अगर 6% ले आए, and win at least 4 seats in Lok Sabha, and win 4% in 4 assembly states. Along with that, they also win 4 Lok Sabha seats. तो उनको बोलेंगे नेशनल पार्टी। तो लास्ट टाइम क्या हुआ पिछले इलेक्शन में, बसपा, BSP, मायावती की पार्टी, they could not win Lok Sabha seats. They got 6% vote, but they could not win Lok Sabha seats. And because of that, there was a chance that they could have been disqualified as a national party. But then somehow बोला कि ठीक है, रहने दो। विनीत एक बार इसको पढ़ना, ठीक है, इसमें बहुत क्लियर नहीं है, ऐसे भी बहुत कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है। रीड दिस इन लक्ष्मीकांत, and if you have any doubt we will discuss later. So अभी इंडिया में क्या है, ऑल इंडिया तृणमूल कांग्रेस, बहुजन समाजवादी पार्टी, भारतीय जनता पार्टी फॉर्म्ड इन 1980, कम्युनिस्ट पार्टी ऑफ इंडिया। नाउ CPI में बहुत सारा कंफ्यूजन होता है, CPI, CPIM, CPI मार्क्सिस्ट, बट वो सब हम लोग बाद में देखेंगे कभी इंटरनल सिक्योरिटी क्लास में। इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस और नेशनलिस्ट कांग्रेस पार्टी, ये सारी पार्टीज अभी नेशनल पार्टी मानी जाती हैं। देन देयर आर मेनी स्टेट लेवल पार्टीज, हर स्टेट की अपनी अपनी पार्टी है। यू मे बी रिकॉग्नाइजिंग एंड यू शुड नो अबाउट ऑल दिस पार्टीज, एटलीस्ट लिटिल बिट, थोड़ा पॉलिटिकल अवेयरनेस होना चाहिए कि कौन सी पार्टी क्या है, क्या करती है, कौन किसका लीडर है। Now, challenges of political parties. क्या प्रॉब्लम है? Lack of internal democracy within party. We know today that most of the parties which are there, all of them are dynastic. So they are run by either one or two people. Think about Congress, run by one family. Think about SAPA, run by one family. Think about RJD, run by one family. Think about AIDMK, think about DMK, run by one party or one person. So there is no internal democracy. If there is no democracy within party, parties cannot function effectively. The real aspiration of the people cannot be represented on the larger level. ऑथोरिटेरियनिज्म पार्टी के अंदर ही आ जाएगा. डायनेस्टिक सक्सेशन, यूज ऑफ मनी एंड मसल. वी ऑल नो इट्स नॉट हिडन टू एनीवन. इफ यू हैव टू गेट अ टिकट, हमारे यहाँ बिहार में इलेक्शन हुआ, बीजेपी का एक एक टिकट 2-2 करोड़ रुपए में बिक रहा था. इफ यू हैव 2 करोड़ रुपीज, यू बाई द टिकट. बसपा इज ऑलवेज अक्यूज्ड ऑफ डूइंग द सेम. कांग्रेस के हारने के पीछे हर बार ऐसा इलेक्शन होता है और कहते हैं भाई कांग्रेस, सम पीपल वर ट्राइंग टू सेल द टिकट एंड बाई द टिकट. जस्ट टू गेट the ticket of these parties, a lot of money and muscle you need. Only the person who have the money can fight the election. The fourth challenge is that very often parties do not seem to offer meaningful choices to the voters. अभी ये बहुत सारी parties तो हैं, but they are giving tickets to such candidates which actually do not offer any meaningful choice to us. सब एक ही जैसे हैं, सब चोर ही हैं, तो किसको वोट दोगे? पार्टीज नीड सर्टेन रिफॉर्म्स. इसके बारे में बात हुई है. डिफेक्शन के बारे में पढ़ेंगे. डिफेक्शन इज व्हेन वन पर्सन चेंजेस हिज पार्टी. जैसे कि मान लो आज कोई एमपी का इलेक्शन लड़ता है बीजेपी के टिकट से, एंड देन ही लीव बीजेपी टू ज्वाइन कांग्रेस. नाउ दिस इज कॉल्ड डिफेक्शन. देयर आर laws to prevent this thing, because if the defection will happen, what will happen? Government will become very unstable. मान लो आज सबने बीजेपी को 300 सीट्स देके, एंड पीपल थॉट कि बीजेपी इज द पार्टी विच शुड रूल इंडिया. लोगों को बीजेपी में ट्रस्ट है, पीपल वोटेड फॉर बीजेपी, बीजेपी इज रूलिंग इंडिया. बट इफ कांग्रेस somehow, although very difficult, but if Congress somehow persuade 200 members of BJP that you come and join our party, or 100 members of BJP that you come and join our party, the government of BJP will fall. Such a situation will be against the democratic principles, क्योंकि लोगों ने जिस पार्टी को इलेक्ट किया था, जिस आइडिया के लिए वोट किया था, वो अभी काम नहीं कर रहा है. It's against democratic values. So to prevent this kind of switching of party, defection, some laws were kept in place. We will read about these in detail in class 11. जल्दी शुरू करेंगे, इसलिए मैं थोड़ा जल्दी बढ़ रहा हूँ इन सब में. Then political candidates are supposed to give affidavits. So whoever is finding the election, उनको बोला जाता है कि भाई आप कुछ affidavit दो. There is no system, but there is no system to check the information given by the candidate is true or false. So we saw that controversies around about the education of many MPs and MLAs, or the kind of wealth that they possess. उसपे कोई ऐसा चेक करने का सिस्टम नहीं है. These organizations do not file income tax return, तो काफी ब्लैक मनी का भी एक बहुत बड़ा अड्डा है. इनका इंटरनल अफेयर्स को कंट्रोल करने के लिए देयर शुड बी सम लॉ. Parties can be asked to give minimum number of tickets to the women candidates. These are some of the reforms that you should be knowing about. That's the end of this chapter as well. Outcome to democracy में ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. Again, we have discussed almost all the points. एक बार जो हमने पीछे डिस्कस किया है वही फिर से इसमें पढ़ना है. So this is the end of, I think, your class 8th, class 10th ka polity book. And I know that I have taught it in a very rushed manner. Lekin the kind of discussion that we have throughout the session, it will help you a lot to go through this, put some effort. And पहले क्या हो रहा था और एनसीईआरटी बैचों में क्या हुआ है कि आई spent a lot of time in class in these classes, and then in class 11th, which is a very important class, I had to rush there. तो इस बार मैंने सोचा कि थोड़ा यहाँ जल्दी कर लेते हैं, समझने वाली चीजें समझ जाओगे पढ़ के. 11th में थोड़ा डिटेल करेंगे अगेन, लाइक वी डिड इन द हिस्ट्री क्लासेस. So we'll go into little more detail than the NCERTs so that you will be able to cover or read Lakshmikant on your own. So when the next week we will meet, we will start Constitution at Work. In the previous batches, I have taught political theory first, and then I have taught Constitution at Work. लेकिन इस साल मैं Constitution at Work पहले पढ़ाऊंगा, so that you get aware about the system and all. और लक्ष्मीकांत जल्दी जल्दी तुम पढ़ना शुरू कर दो उसके साथ. And we will meet at 3 p.m. Yes, and I will tell you a story, Valentine special. ठीक है, तो आओ 3 बजे और डिस्कस करते हैं, देखते हैं थोड़ा क्या क्या कर सकते हैं या क्या करें. अभी खत्म करते हैं इसको 3 बजे या नेक्स्ट क्लास से स्टार्ट करें, नेक्स्ट वीक से स्टार्ट करें 11th का. एक मिनट रुक जाओ, गिव मी अ मिनट, let me check a few things I was looking for. Any question anyone has, you can if anyone have any question, you can ask. Which chapters to read from Lakshmikant? Now you can start reading Lakshmikant. You start from, do not read chapter 1 and 2. You start from chapter 3. If you have done history classes with me, you can start with chapter 1 as well. But if you have not done history classes as of now, those who are in batch 11, you start with chapter number 3. मिल गया. चलो तुम लोगों को एक कहानी सुनाता हूँ. This is Valentine's, so let's stop the